Good day, beautiful people. Welcome back to POV Politics, your go-to source for unfiltered political news coverage. You're hanging with your host, Shay, and if you haven't yet hit that subscribe button, please do, because we're building towards 1,000 strong, and every click helps. So, today we're looking at President Trump's new executive order on cashless bail in Washington, D.C., and his plan to take this fight nationwide. The big question is this really about safety, or another way to punish cities that don't fall in line? Here's what we know. Trump's executive order directs federal prosecutors to bypass D.C. local bail system, keeping suspects in federal custody instead. Attorney General Pam Bondi has been tasked with identifying other jurisdictions that use cashless bail, and Trump has hinted at pulling federal funding from them. Supporters argue that it's about keeping repeated offenders off the street, but critics say it's less about crime and more about control, punishing blue cities with policies that don't match Trump's policies. Some of the legal concerns is that this undercuts local governance discretion and leverages federal power to override local policy. Yes, it's legally possible, but it flirts with the overreach by meddling in local administrative powers. With a cashless bond system, a $100,000 bail amount would no longer exist as a condition for pre-trial release. In jurisdictions that have moved to a cashless or reformed bail model, the focus shifts from the defendant's ability to pay to the judge's assessment to their risk. Under the old system, a defendant with a $100,000 bail might pay bail's bondsman a non-refundable fee, typically 10% or $10,000 for release. A cashless system eliminates that transaction entirely, placing the decision to release the defendant directly in the hands of the court. Cashless bail replaces that with a risk assessment. The judge gets to decide, is the person a flight risk? Do they pose a danger to the community? How serious is the charge? In other words, freedom is based on risk, not your wallet. So here's my POV. This is selective enforcement. Bail reform is messy and complicated, but Trump's order doesn't fix the system. It doubles down on the federal powers. And I'm gonna be real with you, marginalized groups are already targeted more by the justice system. Under this order, due process looks more like an afterthought. That means more people, including innocent people, sitting in jail for days, weeks, and sometimes months, just waiting for a court date. But on the flip side, cash bail keeps poor folks locked up for petty charges just because they can't afford it. Neither system is perfect, but I believe you can't take one approach. So what do you think? Smart crime policy or punishment policy? Drop your thoughts below, and if you want more, check out my next video. Remember, facts over fear, love instead of hate, and always get your facts straight. I'll talk to you soon.
This is the result of him getting out of jail.
Just days before Mecklenburg County's new bail policy went into effect, a judge let a man with a violent criminal history out of jail without paying a cash bail.
He hit me right up here with it.
That opened the door for him to reportedly attack.
He was involved in assault just in this area of CBS.
3 people in the days that followed.
The next judge needs to really be mindful of what his history has been.
Not exactly the kind of publicity you want when you're trying to convince critics
they would rather let the person walk out of jail than house them.
That cashless bail is the way of the future. But both judges and advocates insist the public is now safer because of this new policy. And not just safer, treated more fairly.
Typically, people who don't have money don't have access to the same amount of justice that people who have money have. And so this is a way to try to balance some of that out, as well as provide people with the level of intervention that they need.
The new policy requires judges to consider setting bail on a case-by-case basis, an effort to take money out of the equation, so all defendants are treated equally. Generally only reserving cash bail for defendants deemed higher risk to reoffend or fail to show up to court, relying more on pretrial supervision for lower-level defendants to try and prevent new criminal offenses and guarantee their appearances in court. Judges argue the old system gave the public a false sense of security and actually did more harm than good.
Incarcerating people for even 2 days who have a low risk for reoffending or for failure to appear experience an increased risk for committing another crime as a result of their booking.